Good afternoon นะครับ everyone. How are you today ครับ Are you good? Okay, nice to know that you are good นะครับ Sorry that on last Wednesday I was sick นะครับ so I couldn't conduct the class. So now I'm better นะครับ and fully recover ครับ I'm very good now ครับรัตนนท์ Thank you นะครับ so um, today we are going to do like this นะครับ we've finished chapter 4 นะครับ and then I'll assign the case study for you นะครับ to do it at home นะครับ and then we are going to talk about the open case for chapter 5 then we start having chapter 5 lecture นะครับ after I pick one or two of you to help summarizing the case that you read for the open case นะครับ okay then how are you ครับ everyone I hope that all of you are fine นะครับรัตนนท์ครับ yes midterm is till chapter 5 ครับ chapter 1 to 5 นะครับ okay it will be the case studies นะครับ for all of them alright okay นะครับ everyone so now let me just like share my screen for what we studied on the last class นะครับ okay just check a little bit นะครับ Okay, on the last class, we finished talking about the scaling, vertical and horizontal scaling technique,นะครับ, in terms of just like the technologies and platform that we use for our e-commerce,นะครับ. Okay, and then we end up with the technique that we have got here in order to just like have different kind of technologies and servers,นะครับ, in terms of the hardware for our business. So,นะครับ, in this slide นะครับ I just want to talk about the way in order to improve processing architecture of your site นะครับ so for this one we have 5 or 6 different architecture improvement that you may be able to do with your e-commerce infrastructure and also the architecture that you have got for your hardware นะครับ or your server for the separate static content from dynamic content นะครับ this might be one way that some business may want to do as well so that the users when they have to just like access to your website or to your e-commerce platform they can access to your content faster นะครับ this one if you would like to use this one you have to use specialized server for each type of the workload sometimes you may have the cache server to store the static content นะครับ and for dynamic content because you may have like some just let's say the sales manager or whoever who have to keep updating the price and product catalogs นะครับ then you may have to separate the dynamic content into another server นะครับ depends on the size of the server because some of the businesses they say that everything is on cloud and then you just like have everything to be the dynamic content only so okay it's up to you if you are okay with just like the speed of just like accessing your platform นะครับ and you don't have any complaint from your customer that is okay นะครับ but this one is just like the architecture improvement techniques that you may use catch static content that I told you before in this one if you don't want to set up the cache server you may increase the RAM size นะครับ and then just store the static content in RAM so that you don't need to load it from the hard drive anyway นะครับ every time when the users would like to use the static content for example you may say that okay for the pictures or the photos of the products it is the static content and you just like don't update it every day something like that then you may use the cache static content technique or for the improvement architecture improvement in terms of cache database lookup tables in this one you may use or you may create a cache database lookup นะครับ so that the data can be just like look up faster than just like going directly to search one by one you may just like have the cache database to help looking up นะครับ next one is consolidate business logic on dedicated servers นะครับ in this one you may put the shopping cart credit card processing and other CPU intensive activity on dedicated server นะครับ you separate the servers นะครับ for by its functions because sometimes some users may want to browse from your product catalog first นะครับ while somebody are ready to buy once they click to buy then you redirect them to another server for the shopping cart นะครับ immediately or somebody said that okay um, when we would like to process the credit card some company would like to manage the credit card by themselves while some company นะครับ the way in order to manage their credit card is that they just like what to say leave the responsibility to the bank instead because normally suppose they use the service from some bank for example นะครับ in Thailand markets that I usually see the e-commerce when many of the e-commerce site would like to buy the what to say the credit card processing นะครับ they just like let the bank นะครับ one bank to help processing this for example they may use like K-Bank นะครับ in order to help what does it mean when the customer click payment นะครับ make payment by credit cards then it's redirect to K-Bank's credit card processing page so you can let K-Bank to manage any credit cards in the world doesn't matter whether the credit card belongs to K-Bank or not นะครับ no problem K-Bank can manage it so that means you don't have to set up your own server to process the credit card because you just like make the subcontract to be the part of the K-Bank or the payment gateway instead นะครับ so from time to time you need to have the ASP code optimization as well นะครับ to examine the code to ensure that it's operate effectively and efficiently นะครับ sometimes some of the users may have some complaints that some pages นะครับ can be accessed slowly นะครับ and you say that okay overall performance of your servers are okay but what happened to this one then you may have to just like examine the code นะครับ for some parts of the code it may have just like some problem to make the data to be accessed slowly or to calculation to be done slowly then you have to optimize that one from time to time and the last one นะครับ is about like the optimize the database schema this one if you say that okay the database has a problem you may have to just like think about the optimization of database schema to examine database search times and take steps to reduce access time but if it's fast already no problem you just check it from time to time only when you have some maintenance the next one for other e-commerce site tools in terms of the website design you have to think of the business basic business consideration first because some of the businesses if you start from a small one นะครับ I would like to tell you นะครับ everyone all of you are computer science students you have the capability to code the front end นะครับ but you don't have to just like code everything by yourself some of them นะครับ some of the website they have just like some templates or some instant website design for you just use it first try to use the website นะครับ designer นะครับ or website packages that provide the customizability features so that if you think that it is not okay for you you can add on something but if you just use some website นะครับ that is just like have the ready-made templates and you cannot do anything else that one is not good for us นะครับ for if you are business students I might say that okay just use that one because the business students may not be able to just like code the programs or code the web page by themselves นะครับ but for us we can do it by themselves by ourselves I mean then you may just like have to choose the website นะครับ that is just like the web ordering tools or templates that are customizable, so that if you just like want to add on something that is more techy ones, you can do it by yourself. Okay, this one when you just have to see your basic business consideration because this one you have to think first. Then you have to create a website or create a portal or to create a platform. It must be able to enable the customer to find and buy what they need easily and effectively too. Sometimes when you have to think about some website or some e-commerce platform that you have to think of, the part of the search engine might also be enabled inside your e-commerce platform too. What does it mean? Some of you may think that, okay, when you have just like the e-commerce platform for our customers already, sometimes some products that you want to sell in your platform, you may have like some suppliers or some business partners like a small shops that they want to sell in your website. Let's think of Shopee or Lazada. You can open a store inside their website, inside their platform. And then when the customer would like to search for the products that they would like to buy, you can also get the money from those sellers as well. Because if you have the search engine, that you can just like put some campaign, put some advertisement for the ranking or prioritize the results. Actually, you have to know for if you run your e-commerce platform that you allow other people to open their small store inside your platform. The search engine normally it is controlled it is not organic ones. That means when you search for any products, everything must be past the rules first, that okay, which product should be shown first. If your sellers or if your business partners pay you, you show their result first, something like that so we can set up many criteria about those search engines. These can be just like our business consideration as well, that you have to think, would you like to get the money from that kind of just like searching or not. Next is tools for website optimization. When you have been running your website or e-commerce platform for a certain period of time, you need to do the optimization of the search engine too. By having the meta tags, titles, contents, identify market niches or localized sites, offer expertise, links, search engine ads, and local e-commerce. So these are tools that help us in order to optimize our website or our platform. Because some of the platform, you may be able to just like offer some expertise to help your customers in order to search or in order to just like locate the products or services that they want to get easily. For example, if you say that your website or your platform is a job finding platform, let's imagine that, okay, if we write down mobile apps and then your customer just like used that mobile app to search for a job. Let's think aspect number one or scenario number one, we said that, okay, the customer or the users have to identify the city that they would like to find a job. Compare with another scenario, we say that, okay, users can also open up a GPS in order to locate the location where they are, so that the job can be searched according to that area first by using the area or the spot that the mobile phone is located as the center point, and then just like find out the company that promotes to find the employees with that in that vicinity. Or the third one, users can combine two choices if selection นะครับ I mean like if they have to select and they don't know any places that they would like to get but they just like want to know that they just like for example if you just like buy a new condos in Lad Phrao area let's say and you don't know that okay where to get the job you may say that okay let the apps to help me locating like possible jobs around this area then you may just like specify Lad Phrao area or you may just like use the GPS to help as well so these are just like the tools that can offer the expertise of the platform in order to help customer to locate a job something like that or for example if you say that you are running the e-commerce websites นะครับ or e-commerce platform to sell what to say porcelain product okay and it is just like the statue porcelain statue that may be just like 1 or 2 meters height and the weight is just like almost 100 kilograms let's say okay so it's quite fragile when the customer would like you to ship you say that okay there are a couple of choices that customer can choose the delivery company to deliver the porcelain statue for them they may just you may just like ask them with questionnaire that okay which choice that you want to get the first one is just like the delivery company that also offer the insurance for the breakage of the product or the company that offer the cheapest price นะครับ or company that has the highest hits for people that just like or usually use that one you may just like provide them with this expertise when they just like choose the delivery agent นะครับ because sometimes you can see that when you go to some website for example Shopee or Lazada they just like always just like give us the first choice and then they take the choice for you you may change but I mean like they don't tell us why they just like try to let you choose that one it might be because it's their own company or it might be the company with a contract with them นะครับ but actually the things that you may be able to use is that you just choose the delivery company that provide you the cheapest one นะครับ and also the quickest one something like that but actually we have like some other criteria to just like choose as well as especially for the products that I told you if it is the fragile products นะครับ then you may have to just like choose the company that provide the breakage insurance and then the company that has just like the highest vote นะครับ or the highest popular นะครับ from the users something like that okay you can just like add the tools for website optimization as well in this one next นะครับ for the e-commerce website features that annoy customers if นะครับ the website require users to view ad or flash introduction before going to website content it's annoying นะครับ sometimes customer don't want to watch you have to think if you really have to use that flash introduction you must be able to let the customer to skip it นะครับ same as YouTube you can see that if that I mean like if the company advertise with YouTube นะครับ it shows the viewer นะครับ with the advertisement first for the first 5 seconds and if the customer said that okay they buy the VIP one or the premium account the advertisement must be hidden something like that นะครับ okay so this one you have to be careful if all the customers are just like you don't have premium or something like that think นะครับ not every time that the ads or flash introduction shown all the time some of the website might have just like some advertisement or some flash on some side of the screen, something like that. Or it might be as a small banner on the lower part of screen or the top part of the screen. So you have to just like think which part of the screen or when should it be displayed. Pop up and pop up and pop up and pop under apps and Windows. Too many clicks to get to the content. This is important too. Sometimes you don't have advertisement, but in order to get to the content, customer has to click or tap many times until they get into that product. They may change their mind and buy it from other people or other e-commerce instead. Links that doesn't work, like the broken link. You have to be careful. If it is broken, the first one, people first time it's okay, but if they come back again tomorrow and if it's not fixed, many of the customer might think that this is just like the deserted website that you don't maintain it anymore. Be careful, and then they just like go to buy the products or services from another e-commerce instead. Confusing navigation, no search function. Okay. Sometimes when users would like to go back and once they tap on back, it doesn't go back. This one, this is confusing navigation. Every of the e-commerce platform must have search function. If you don't have search function, users will feel like disoriented and they don't know how to get to the place or the products or services that they want to just like search, because sometimes if you force them to just like choose from the menu, it might not be the things that they want, because you can see that because the smartphone or the computer's browser, you should be able to use the features for searching, because customer can type something in. So they should be able to search for the product or services that they want to have. Next, requirement to register and log in before viewing content or ordering. This one might annoy the people as well, because sometimes they just want to just like see first or browse first before they make a decision. You can see that sometimes we don't have just like the login required. Only when some of the website they require to just like let you log in to secure the payment, or they say that they want to identify, they want to verify that it's you, then it's required to log in. But if it is just one-time purchasing, some of the website don't ask you for sign up and log in first. It depends on the type. You can see that if you have a look on the streaming services like not Netflix. Right now, I just like watch VTV or iQIYI, or iq.com. That one, you can watch the show straight away. You don't need to log in. But normally, if you log in, you are the premium customer that you can bypass the advertisement, or you can watch some VIP clips, something like that. It depends on the type. You have to consider it properly. Next, slow loading page. Slow loading page. This one annoys the customer for sure. That's why in the previous slide I talked about the optimization. If the accessing time is slow and inefficient, you have to just like optimize your code first. And content that is out of date. For example, promotion of May 2022. Now it's June already. You have to remove it. Otherwise, your customer will think that this one is not updated at all, and they might not use your website anymore. Right. Next one, inability to use browser's back button in here. As I told you, some of the websites, when it press back button, it doesn't go back. I think it's a bug. It's not their intention, but some of the website they intend to not let you press back button. They just like would like you to have a special button that they created to be back on the previous page. But normally, for human beings, for our instinct, we usually use the back button on our browser, not their specially designed back button. So you have to just like prepare that page to be able to go back to the previous page easily. No contact information available. so in this oneนะครับ the way to solve the problem for no contact information is that just add it in the contact part, and also you can just like have the chatbot in order to let the what to say the chat นะครับ to be available for the users in order to let them contact you. Sometimes users don't want to make a phone call นะครับ you have to find a way in order to let them contact you by chatting นะครับ by texting you something like that ครับ unnecessary splash or flat screen animation, okay, music or other audio that plays automatically, unprofessional design elements. So that means when you design anything for the whole site, it must be consistent นะครับ so having an inconsistent design, for example, that page use blue color, this page use orange, the first page the back button is on the bottom right, the second page the back is on the bottom left corner, something like that. This is unprofessional design elements. You have to avoid it นะครับ text not easy legible due to size, color, format. Sometimes some text you want to fit in one page and it cannot fit in. You try to squeeze them in by just like the reduce the size, reduce the font size. That makes customer unable to read that text. My suggestion is that why don't you just like provide them the link to go to that page to see, just like for example the disclaimer straight away without disturbing the content of your product or services that you have got. Typo นะครับ this is important too. If you have a typo that looks unprofessional immediately นะครับ for your e-commerce site, no or unclear returns policy. This one is important นะครับ return policy needs to be known first before they make a decision to buy the product or services from you. For example, if you say that okay, you sell the brand name product, for example, like if you buy Louis Vuitton on what to say on the website online, let's say different countries may have different returns policy นะครับ some of the countries they are strictly นะครับ protect the customers that okay, if the customer purchase it and they don't want it, they can change their mind within 14 days. So in that case, if you sell the products to your customer in that country, you have to conform with the law that they have as well. But in Thailand นะครับ not every product can be returned. For example, Louis Vuitton as well, if you purchase it in Thailand, because Thailand doesn't have the protection for the customer นะครับ to be the law like 14 days you can return, then you cannot return นะครับ because sometimes if you change your mind, you cannot return that product นะครับ because you make a decision to buy it already. So check the law of that country first. How do they gonna protect their customers? And then you have to state clearly for the return policy of that country. Next one 8 most important factors in successful e-commerce site design นะครับ there are 8 criteria, 8 factors นะครับ the first one is functionality นะครับ functionality in here means that it is the pages that work, load quickly, and point the customer toward your product offering. In terms of informational, it provides the links that customer can easily find to discover more about you and your products or services. Ease of use นะครับ this one นะครับ this your website must be simple, foolproof navigation นะครับ and redundant navigation. Redundant navigation in here means that you provide alternative navigation to the same content. Customer can just like use various ways to go to the same page. Sometimes you may just like go to search. Sometimes somebody may use from the product catalog that have the list from A to Z. Sometimes you go to the product catalog that has been listed by category. Sometimes you just like follow the breadcrumb trails to go deeper and deeper to go to specific products on your site. ease of purchase, so that one is good for your business นะครับ when a customer just click 1 or 2 clicks only or tap only and then they can buy your products นะครับ that should be great. For example นะครับ let's imagine okay class, can you tell me any of you, do any of you, have you ever purchased any products from 7-Eleven and pay by using True Wallet? Who have used it? Can you tell me? True Wallet, to let the cashier to scan the barcode of your True Wallet account. Who have used that service? Can you tell me? Karamuk said all the time. Okay. You can see that in this one นะครับ when you compare with another person who has to use the cash, which one is faster? If you have the cash in your wallet, in your I mean like electronic wallet, digital wallet is faster, right? Okay, but for me sometimes I don't load, I don't recharge the money into the digital wallet. I have to just like press lots of buttons นะครับ you can see that compare with just like let's say we go to 7-Eleven and you use True Wallet, you just tap recharge money. Let's say they just like have predefined amount like let's say 100, 400, 500, 1000 นะครับ and then you can add 100 a time, add 500 a time more in the amount. That is quick, very quick. That means 1 or 2 clicks or 1 or 2 tap on your smartphone นะครับ you can just like recharge the money and pay the money to 7-Eleven already. That is ease of purchase. When it's quick, people will like it and use it more without knowing that, oh, I paid the money already นะครับ something like that. Next is multi-browser functionality. This one ครับ your site should work with most popular browsers. Suppose somebody just develop the e-commerce platform in terms of the website, and you say that it works only with Internet Explorer or it works only with Firefox. You can see that most of the people do not use them. The standard one should be what to say, Google Chrome, should be Safari, should be Edge นะครับ at least these 3 browsers should be compatible นะครับ and if you say that อาจารย์it said that it works well with like most of the popular browser, but when I use my smartphone to connect to this website, it just doesn't work well because I don't see anything. It's just like squeezed into be very, very tiny fonts. For sure, that means your website design นะครับ doesn't have the design for the mobile platform. Then you have to think as well that if you have the users who use the mobile device to connect นะครับ you have to just like you may have to use card-based design in order to let the website to be displayed properly นะครับ even though it is on mobile phone นะครับ something like that. Some of the website นะครับ sorry some of the e-commerce platform นะครับ like internet banking of some banks, if you use smartphone's browser to connect, they detect and they cut off some features in. For example นะครับ for example normally when I pay my credit cards, I pay by using what to say, I have to pay by the browser on my computer only because of what? If I just use the m-banking นะครับ as the application, it doesn't have features to pay for the credit cards like for the SCB Bank doesn't have the feature to pay for the credit cards. Then when I just use the browser, sometimes I just like go out and I don't take my laptop with me. I just use the smartphone's browser to connect to the internet banking website, and then I want to see นะครับ the information for spending that is called statements, right? Okay, I couldn't see it because they just hide these features not to be able to read by using your smartphone. So I can't pay because I don't know the details. Then I have to go back home first, use my computer's browser to see before I can make a payment. So you have to think first. Some of the website, if you don't want users to use the browsers on your smartphone to browse your website, there are a couple of suggestions. The first one, cut off some functions to let the users who use the mobile phone's browser to see just like some important functions only. For some functions that you think it is not proper to just view by using the mobile phone browser, you just like don't have that functions when users use the mobile phone browser to go to your website. Second one, you may say that, okay, if the customer would like to see something, for example, statement, and you say that actually the statement can be viewed if customer use application นะครับ for anyone who use mobile phones browser, you also have a button that, okay, if you want to watch your statement, install our apps, and you tap, when the users tap on it, it just go to the App Store นะครับ or Play Store to install your application so that they can just like see their statement, something like that นะครับ This might be the way to help. Next one, simple graphics. Try to avoid distracting obnoxious graphics and sounds that user cannot control. Okay. Legible text. Avoid background that distort text or make it illegible นะครับ so these are just like a factor that are just like we always find it in the successful e-commerce site design. Okay, next one นะครับ when we talk about the tools for interactivity and active content, we may use this technology CGI, ASP, Java, JSP, JavaScript, and Web 2.0 design elements. When you have to develop a mobile website and building mobile apps นะครับ there are three types of e-commerce software. Mobile website นะครับ that you just like allow users to use the web browsers of your mobile phone to connect. Then you have to just like use responsive web design นะครับ to make the content that should be seen on the mobile phone's browser and web browsers not to be different much. For example, if you go to websites like thairat.co.th นะครับ on the browsers on your computer, compare with thairat.co.th website นะครับ that is the newspaper website on your mobile phone browsers. The interface are different because they use the responsive web design in order to help นะครับ showing just the information that they want users to see via the web browsers on the mobile phone นะครับ and then you may have mobile web app and native apps นะครับ so you also have to do the planning and building mobile presence as well. In order to plan and build a mobile presence, you have to use system analysis and design to identify unique and specific business objective first, so that you can prepare for your mobile presence นะครับ the users or customer will know that, okay, they can just like contact and they can just like do the transactions with your e-commerce platform via this kind of just like tools. And you can you have to know that right now นะครับ almost every kind of just like the e-commerce platform must be able to be operated in the smartphone as well. But it depends on you whether you would like the customer to access via the website through web browsers on mobile phone, as well as the mobile application, or you might say that I want to have just the mobile apps only, I don't have the website. Depends on you นะครับ but actually you have to know that website is still important because it is just like the place where we can show the online identity of our e-commerce as well นะครับ okay, next in this table I would like to show about the features, the unique features that must be taken into account when you have to design mobile web presence นะครับ in terms of hardware นะครับ the implication for mobile platform because hardware นะครับ is smaller นะครับ and there are more resource constraints in data storage and processing power. Actually, right now, นะครับ storage and processing power doesn't have the problem much, but the things that still be the constraint is the size of the screen. นะครับ How do you gonna just like show the information that you want to show to users on mobile phone screen? Sometimes นะครับ the details that you would like the customer to see might have to be in another page instead นะครับ so that the users can see it apart from just like the photos of the products that you have got นะครับ different from the computer screen that is bigger นะครับ next is connectivity. The mobile platform is constrained by slower connection speeds than desktop websites. So you have to know that some of the technology that you say that, okay, customer นะครับ still use 4G and you want to just like use let's say full HD นะครับ or 4K streaming pictures. Sometimes you have to think as well that in that country นะครับ what about the infrastructure that customer have got at that time? Do they have the limitation about like the 5Gs or not? Or I mean like sometimes นะครับ in some countries the mobile internet might be faster than the ADSL platform. It is possible นะครับ you have to check first. But if you just like provide just like the e-commerce website that sells the products only นะครับ that customer can see the catalog and then the catalog that you have got นะครับ is in the video clips format and it's in 4K, then you have to think as well. Sometimes you may have to check for the speed of the internet connection นะครับ check the bandwidth of the internet connection and after that you may have to drop the speed or the quality of the videos automatically นะครับ something like that. Or sometimes you just have still pictures นะครับ and in the catalog and if the customer would like to see the demonstration videos they have to tap and you have to warn them that okay you're sure that you would like to use this one because it will just like use up your mobile data plan something like that นะครับ warn them too. The next one นะครับ display mobile display are much smaller and require simplification. Yeah, this is still true. Some screens are not good at sunlight, good in sunlight. Right now it's better นะครับ but anyway if you have to use this kind of just applications นะครับ outside the building for example นะครับ if you say that this mobile applications this e-commerce platform is an e-commerce platform that help the customer to edit their photos when they take with the camera add on the filters on it so you have to know that sometimes your customers would like to take photos outdoor and then you would like to just like let the customer to edit นะครับ and then filtering or touch up their photos as the real-time ones then you may have to just like think that okay how do you gonna just like make the display screen to be just like clear นะครับ in the sunlight too นะครับ next interface touch screen technology introduced new interaction routines different from traditional mouse and keyboard. Mobile platform is not a good data entry tool, but can be a good navigational tools นะครับ because sometimes you say that you squeeze everything in one page, including just like product description, product photo, ordering with the details, and you may have just like many choices to tick. If you squeeze everything in one page, it will be difficult for the customer. Then you have to simplify the page นะครับ For example, if you have choices for the customer, their choices like 3 or 4 different choices on one page should be enough so that the difference between each button นะครับ must be able to just like be tapped by just like have a distance enough otherwise their fingertips might not be able to control that one นะครับ so you have to think about the interface as well. Okay, next นะครับ in this one in order to develop a mobile web presence นะครับ in terms of design consideration you have to think about platform constraint because right now um, you cannot expect that everyone will use tablet because if you use tablet the size of the tablet is just a little bit smaller than your computer screen นะครับ but the smartphone screen it's smaller than the tablet then if you say that the tablet you put everything including choices นะครับ or the options for customer to choose but you may not be able to use the same ideas with the smartphone screen then you have to think about it นะครับ for example if you say that okay you have the maps and then the customer has to tap on the map in order to just like choose the location for example นะครับ if the customer would like to drop their product for mailing for postal นะครับ then you may say that okay this is the shops around your area and then you just like put everything in the map นะครับ you can see that you might look at the map well on the tablet but if you just like use the same map inside your smartphone the screen might be too small นะครับ so you may say that oh then we can just like pinch in and out in order to go to that one but if you just like pinch นะครับ to zoom out or to zoom in you can see that okay some locations might be out of the frame already then you have to think about it as well นะครับ this is a platform constraint next performance and cost นะครับ mobile website is the least expensive mobile apps can utilize browser API to help นะครับ and native apps is the most expensive one that requires more programming so you have to think which one fits with your business นะครับ some of the people say that I need to have everything so it depends นะครับ because actually you have to know that right now some of the businesses they don't want to let the customer to install the apps in their smartphone because somebody นะครับ don't have enough space in order to just like install the apps into the smartphone they want to save the memory to do something else นะครับ let me just give you an example นะครับ yesterday I went to have dinner with my family นะครับ at the restaurant so they try to just like use the way in order to be the touchless menu instead of ordering the foods in the past we read from the menu first and then we had papers นะครับ that they just like print out the papers for us specify the name of the menu then you just write down the quantities you write down the table number and give it to them okay this is the conventional way where when they did it in the past but yesterday after COVID-19 they just like try to adjust themselves to be the social distancing instead of just like letting their customers to see the menus นะครับ that is the paper นะครับ the hard copy ones so in the past when customer had to just like read the menu after that table นะครับ is checked already or built already they have to just like use alcohol spray to clean that menu every time so that makes their menu to just like be torn or just like faded very soon apart from that one if the customers who come to have meal in their restaurants got infected by COVID-19 and they write นะครับ the order on that piece of paper and send to the waiter or waitresses it is possible that the waiters or waitresses can touch นะครับ the paper with the germs and then when they serve the food they don't wash their hands they just like once they pick the order they run to the kitchen to grab the plates and then serve to another table that may cause another table's customer to got infected by the germs as well so then they change the way in order to order the food electronically but you can see that they choose the way that customer นะครับ scan the QR code นะครับ that they generated for that table only. For example, if you check in, right, when you just like enter into the restaurant, they ask you how many people just come to have meal. You said 3. So what will happen? They say that okay, they just type 3 in their system นะครับ to assign the table for you. So for example, you get table number 2, okay? They print the slip and give it to the waitress นะครับ to bring you นะครับ the receptionist will bring you to table 2 and put the QR code นะครับ and put the QR code นะครับ in the small folder นะครับ and put it on your table. So that means if you scan the QR code over there นะครับ it will open up a website that you can order the foods in there directly. Some people say that why don't you just like let the customer to install the apps for your company, for your restaurant. Somebody doesn't like to install the apps ครับ they might just like be one-time customer only. They may haven't been to this restaurant before. Then you cannot make sure that they'll come back again next time. So if you force them to install an application and go back and then delete this application later on, it wastes their time. So it might not impress them to come back here again next time. But if it is the web page, once they scan, you redirect to a web page with the information that what table that this customer is sitting, then they can order the food นะครับ and after that when they just like go back home, you can just like close that browser นะครับ no problem, you don't need to uninstall anything. So that's why this one might be one choice that you may be able to do นะครับ okay, the last one ครับ when you have to this actually these are just like the case study นะครับ for aspect of building mobile presence. I just like skip this one. Okay. All right, นะครับ so these are just like the things that we have to use whenever we have to build e-commerce presence in terms of websites, mobile sites, and application. There are aspects that you have to think about too นะครับ that sometimes you need to have just mobile application. Some businesses need to have mobile websites, regular websites, and mobile apps นะครับ it depends on what business objective that you are planning to have. Some of the businesses นะครับ is not suitable to have just the mobile application. For example นะครับ if you are running B2B business นะครับ business to business, that you are the wholesaler, you sell the products นะครับ to your customer who are manufacturing company. Let's say, for example, if you sell screws นะครับ to car manufacturing company, then you have, let's say, 20 sales people นะครับ of your company. Normally we don't use mobile apps นะครับ for the e-commerce. In this one, when customer order from you, they may just like use the regular website นะครับ for ordering the goods from you. Depends ครับ while some of the people, especially if it is the B2C, when you have to deal with the end customer นะครับ who are individual person, that one mobile application should be okay, right? Okay then นะครับ everyone. So up to this point, do you have any questions about this module or this chapter? Okay, if you don't have any questions นะครับ okay, I'll stop this slide first นะครับ so let's talk about the homework that I would like you to discuss with your team นะครับ okay, so in this one in case study number 4, okay, let me just share the screen to you. Okay, so in this one นะครับ okay we just like do as usual นะครับ we just discuss with the teammates to do this one the case for this one นะครับ for chapter 4 is about Dick's Sporting Goods นะครับ so in this one every team I would like you to just like summarize this case นะครับ and answer the case study questions นะครับ and answer the case study questions the due date will be on on this coming Wednesday นะครับ on this coming Wednesday okay right so I will random นะครับ I will random let's say how many teams do we have I think we have 7 teams right around 7 teams I will let 3 teams to present นะครับ I'll let 3 teams to present okay right and then okay so I will just like I random it นะครับ and then let you know before the class so that you can prepare I think I can just like random it after this class so that you can just like know who will be presenting นะครับ and the rest of you who don't present in this case in this chapters module นะครับ you have to present in the next module นะครับ later on all right okay then if you don't have any questions นะครับ for this case study นะครับ let's go back to main page of the canvas นะครับ in this one I want you to read this one ครับ open case นะครับ the cyber case math 2.0 นะครับ okay and summarize it for me please the things I want you to do is similar to like previous modules นะครับ I want you to read there are like 3.5 page I'll give you 15 minutes to read นะครับ I'll give you 15 minutes to read for this case นะครับ I want just like 2 of you to help summarizing นะครับ this one นะครับ and talk to the class for what you read for the cyberwar math 2.0 after 15 minutes นะครับ so can I have 2 volunteers please if there is no volunteer then let me just like pick up some of you to help us นะครับ to present what you read on this case นะครับ so may I request Naran and Rinradi ครับ Naran and Rinradi oh Rinradi presented already okay so let me change then whoเศรษฐวุฒิครับ Naran and เศรษฐวุฒิ please เศรษฐวุฒิ are you here
yes ครับ
ครับ Naran and เศรษฐวุฒินะครับ please read the case and then summarize present the summary for us you don't need to do the PowerPoint นะครับ just like tell a story about this case so we have 15 minutes นะครับ so at 1:20 นะครับ we will resume นะครับ with the presenting with the talk from Naran and Setawut ครับ for the summary of the case cyber war นะครับ okay right just take your time ครับ everyone 15 minutes okay so Naran ครับ can you please just like tell us what you read from this case ครับ
okay ครับ so
In the modern day, there's a new type of warfare called cyber warfare that has become a lot more common. This new type of warfare involves hackers, and they have the objective to obtain intellectual property, and they attack the ability of other nations to function. Many nations are preparing for cyber war, and a cyber arms race has already started. This cyber war is a lot cheaper than actual war, so even smaller, less developed nations can afford it. Countries have developed malware and algorithms in preparation to attack and defend cyber infrastructure. Russia has led a 3-year campaign against Ukrainian infrastructure and government systems, and most recently, in December 2015, power was lost across multiple cities in Western Ukraine because of this. In 2015, the Pentagon announced a cyber strategy outlining the conditions under which the USA will engage in a cyber weapons attack on an enemy. And in September 2015, the Obama administration reached an understanding with Chinese leaders, and both countries agreed to refrain from cyber warfare. The internet and web are getting increasingly more vulnerable to large-scale attacks, and these attacks are usually led by organized gangs of criminals operating globally. And an even more worrying type of attack is a growing number of attacks led and funded by various nations against the internet resources of other nations. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Kap. So, what about Setut, Kap? What did you find from this case, Kap?
For my summary นะครับ humans have war against each other since the earliest days. But today there is also a type of warfare that is conducted by hidden armies of hackers wielding weaponry that consists of algorithms and computer coding. And many countries are preparing for a cyber war, developing new weapons and practicing defensive techniques. A cyber arms race has already started, and many small countries like Denmark, the Netherlands, Estonia, and tiny Belarus are building their own cyber arsenals. These weapons include malware for penetrating industrial, military, and critical civilian infrastructure controllers, and algorithms for denial of service attacks. The cyber attacks on information system have been on the rise over the past few years. With the biggest attack on US government system occurring in July 2015, when the Office of Personnel Management was hacked. Stuxnet, a malware virus planted in industrial controller modules of Iranian nuclear fuel centrifuges, caused the centrifuges to destroy themselves, and Russian hackers have targeted oil and gas firms using a watering hole attack and have infected many Ukrainian civilian and industrial computer systems and networks. The United States has developed the most powerful cyber warfare defense and offense capabilities in the world. Its mission is to coordinate and direct DoD information networks and prepare for military cyberspace operations. The Pentagon has announced a new cyber strategy that aims to deter attacks on U.S. government and corporate systems by threatening to launch a major counterattack if the attack causes a significant loss of life, destruction of property, and or lasting economic damage. The Obama administration and Chinese leader reached an understanding in 2015, but the agreement does not limit the cyber espionage. China has since shifted its cyber espionage focus away from the United States and Western organizations. That's all.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nahab. So you can see that these are just like the cyber war, Nahab, that happens nowadays. So that means when you have to set up your e-commerce, the things that you also have to do is that you need to just like prepare our e-commerce platform. You have to be careful about this kind of thing as well. All right. So just one belong. Let me just see why my screen is showing 239. What does it mean? Just one belong, everyone. Let me see what happened. Okay, yeah, it's off already. Okay, so right now, let's see the module or chapter 5 that we have to know is about the e-commerce security and payment system in this one. So in this one, okay, can somebody answer, what is the difference between hacking and cyber war from what you read, What is the difference between hacking and cyber war? Can you type your answer in the chat box, What is the difference between hacking and cyber war? Okay, so if there is no answer, I will just ask some of you to answer instead. Okay, so that's the first person who answered already. Oh, okay, right, you start answering already. Okay, Goramut answered that the scope is smaller. Cyber warfare implies large attack. James said that cyber war is large-scale hacking towards major targets. That's right, Actually, if it is just like from country to another country, something like that, it's a cyber warfare. But if it's specific to just like a company or the individual person or small group of companies, that one is just like that is the hacking. Okay. Now, why has cyber war become more potentially devastating in the past decade? Why has cyber war become more potentially devastating in the past decade? Everything depends on technology. What about others, Do you agree? Becoming from intertwined, more intertwined. Okay, Goramat said, higher level of education and cheaper access to technology. Anybody else would like to share your ideas or opinion for the devastation from the cyber war? So you can see that because, yeah, right now, sorry, not right now, from the past decades, because when the technology came faster, faster than the security than the people were aware of, and also companies, businesses, and I mean different countries, they rely on the technology. So that's why it just like become the devastating in the past decade. And also from it because I mean starting from the cyber war, it's easier than just like um, protection. Sorry, it's easier than just like doing the real war, because other people, I mean like let's imagine about the war, the physical war that might happen. That okay, there are a lot of people who try to just like see and protect. That's why this one the cyber war has become the potentially devastating. Next, why has Google been the target of so many cyber attacks? What do you think? Algorithm is expensive. Um, Not really. Really. Anybody else? Any answer for the Google as a target? Most people use Google. Yeah, that sounds interesting. When there are a lot of people share นะครับ people use then it means that if they attack this one นะครับ there will be a lot of people who just got impacted by this attacking นะครับ okay. Kormut said infrastructure for a lot of large companies that contain a lot of data. Yes, because there are a lot of people who share and Google invests a lot and there are like a lot of people involved นะครับ or use นะครับ or be a part of the Google as well. And you can see that right now, most of us use just like Google for your Google account, for your Gmail, for your, what to say, Google Drive, นะครับ you'll be impacted. That's why นะครับ Google has been a target. And is it possible to find a political solution to Math 2.0? What do you think? Political solution? Is it possible to find? Treaties. Yeah, that is one way to do นะครับ to have the to prepare the treaties. It might be just like one way to help, but I mean like for some people นะครับ they don't care about the treaties. They just want to attack, then they attack. Renati said, I heard cyber war is the only war that don't have treaty. Yes, I'm sure that soon นะครับ some of the organization have to set up the treaty นะครับ to centralize this kind of thing. That's why they just attack and no one making a problem out of it. Yeah, right. I'm sure that there will be just like the central body in order to just like prepare the treaty soon นะครับ it might be begin with like the World Court of Justice. If they just initiate that one, that would be great. But I mean like the problems for the treaty means that it means some countries or some kind of just like the using of the internet might have to be controlled. Some countries may not want to be the things like that นะครับ so that's why this one we have to just like be careful about this นะครับ okay. Right. Okay. Now let's talk about the next one. For the e-commerce, when we have to set up the e-commerce security environment, this is why we have to just like think about the e-commerce security environment. Overall sizes and losses of cybercrime unclear. There are reporting issues. In 2019 survey, the average analyzed cost of cybercrime was $13.0 million per year. And there are more and more happen because people, I mean, especially for this, because this book was launched before the COVID-19 period. The information, the latest information I got was from 2019. But if there are some survey this year, I'm sure that there will be increasing of the average analyzed cost of cybercrime. Next, underground economy marketplace. In this one, because there are stolen information stored on underground economy servers as well. So that's why this one, you have to know that there are people from underground who want to get or to buy this data. That's why there are people who want to just like get this data to sell. The next one, what is good e-commerce security? To achieve highest degree of security, like we need to have the new technologies and organizational policies and procedures to protect the security as the highest degree. Industry standards and government laws. And also like what Rinbadi said, we need to have the treaties as well. That is inter country organizations that have to think about this. And there are also other factors as well, like time value for money, cost of security versus potential loss, and security often breaks at weakest link. This is environment นะครับ the innermost is data and we have technology solutions to protect this data in a certain level. Outside, the organization need to set the organizational policies and procedures to protect the data, and law and industry standards needs to be there in order to protect the data as well นะครับ and right now you can see that in Thailand we just have the new law launch at the beginning of this month, that is the PDPA law about the personal privacy data นะครับ that has to be protected, that is used to protect the personal data นะครับ of everyone. So in this one, these are like the customers and merchant perspective on different dimensions of e-commerce security นะครับ for the dimension in terms of integrity, customer perspective นะครับ think that they have information that I transmitted or received been altered. In terms of merchant perspective, they say that has the data in the site has been altered without authorization. Is data being received from customer valid? For non-repudiation, customer think that can a party to an action with me later deny taking the action? While merchant's perspective said, can a customer deny ordering product? In terms of authenticity, customer think that who am I dealing with? How can I be assured that the person or entity is who they claim to be? While the merchant think that what is the real identity of the customer? In terms of confidentiality, can someone other than the intended recipient read my message? Are messages or confidential data accessible to anyone other than these authorized to view them? Okay. For privacy, customer think that can I control the use of information about myself transmitted to an e-commerce merchant, while the merchant think that what use, if any, can be made of personal data collected as part of e-commerce transaction? Is the personal information of customers being used in an unauthorized manner? In terms of availability, customer think that can I get access to the site, while merchant think that is the site operational? These are just like different dimensions of e-commerce security in two sides, two parties' point of view นะครับ so that's why we have to think about this one. Okay, right. Okay, I think before I talk about the next slide, I should just like stop my lecture at this point นะครับ and on the next class I'll talk about the rest part of this chapter นะครับ okay, so it means that on the next class นะครับ I will just random just 2 teams only to present on the case นะครับ of chapter 5 sorry, case of chapter 4, and then we'll continue the lecture นะครับ for chapter 5 นะครับ until we finish